Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Dang!
This is what I've been left with. What even is my belly button?
Ladies, I'm going on my 4th breast surgery in less than 2 years.
Because my nose has been doing a weird thing.
You okay? Okay.
British mum has died after having a Brazilian butt lift in Turkey.
And this is what my lip looked like yesterday morning.
I got like a half botched, half okay nose job in 2018.
During the procedure, they popped a blood vessel in my face.
My tip is drooping.
To be careful who we are getting our bodies done with.
It changed the shape of my face.
I actually regret getting my BBL sometimes. Why does it look like that?
Looked like this because they're literally opening your face and breaking your nose.
It's been a year and I still get pimples on my chest.
I'm gonna squeeze.
Do your research.
I have a foreign object that was left in my nose.
3 days post-op, I started noticing some very strange discoloration.
I regret shrinking my face in Korea.
If I could go back, I wouldn't have even touched my face to begin with.
The plastic surgeon who I feel wronged me and caused me emotional lifelong damage.
For what will be my 14th procedure.
I removed my breast implants.
Dealing with the consequences of my actions.
The chemicals in the silicone leaked into my body.
Oh my god. I knew deep down that I was not happy with what I did.
I cannot believe the level of swelling. It is uncomfortable. It hurts.
Woman goes to the Dominican Republic for a Brazilian butt lift, finds herself without a kidney.
And it's horrible.
The case to show why we shouldn't always jump straight into dissolving.
I almost wish that I didn't do it.
Fortunately, a mum of 5 has passed away due to having had bum filler.
Wagwan Islanders, welcome back to another video. Of course, you know it's your favorite island girl, Jody here from the 876. And as per usual, I'm going to tell you for us, draw a little closer, come right here, so because guys, today we're diving into a topic that's both shocking and fascinating. Of course, guys, we're talking about plastic surgery that has gone horribly wrong.
My biggest plastic surgery regrets. I will be 33 in a couple months, and I have been getting work done since I was 19 years old. Consistently as well. Let me save you some time, money, energy, and pain with these treatments that I have gotten that I super regret. Fillers, but in specific places. I got jawline filler years ago. Instant regret. It changed the shape of my face. It added a roundness to it and a heaviness to it. And I have patiently been waiting like probably 5 years for these fillers to wear off, and I really feel like, especially here, I feel like this isn't even fat. I feel like it's still filler that is just coagulated in my jaw. Instant regret. Don't do jawline fillers. Under eye fillers, it's caused a lot of inflammation, and in certain lighting, my eyes are just like puffy underneath. You can see it in some of my videos, and I've gotten dissolved multiple times and it's still there. Breast implants, I've had saline and silicone, and they made me very ill with breast implant illness, and I was like nearing death until actually my audience told me you might have breast implant illness. Took out my implants, healed overnight. I was deathly ill because of breast implants. Next up, plasma pen. I got plasma pen underneath and around my eyes, just my entire eye area, and it left permanent scars. It looks like freckles now because it's faded so much, but I'm still actively getting treatments to reduce the scarring around my eyes. Luckily, everything else has been pretty great, so check out my beauty treatments playlist for the things that I actually do like.
Oh, my body did not reject the breast implants. I was poisoned by them because the chemicals in the silicone leaked into my body. Because think about it, your body temperature is like 98 degrees, right? So you have this silicone bubble in you, basically cooking at low temperature for a decade. So yeah, my body didn't like reject them as a foreign object. I was just poisoned by my titties.
I know that we have all seen those perfect filtered results on social media, but what happens when things don't go as planned? From a botched nose job to just some terrifying BBL disasters, of course, we're breaking down the worst of the worst. But before we jump into the rest of this video, guys, just a reminder to like this video for your girl. It's easy, it's free, just support the channel, no man. And if you're new, I'd love to have you join the Islanders family by, of course, hitting that subscribe button. Oh, guys, let's start with this because I have a question for you. Have you ever seen a plastic surgery fail that just shocked you? Maybe a celebrity who looked so amazing before but then completely different after, or someone who just had too much work done, they don't even look like human anymore. Plastic surgery is supposed to be about enhancing beauty, but when it goes wrong, let me just tell you, it can just destroy someone's appearance altogether and even their health and worse, their life. Guys, let's get into it and start with one of the most common and riskiest surgeries, of course, which is the nose job.
So I've been keeping a little secret. Not really. I've just been hiding because my nose has been doing a weird thing. So a few years ago, I had a rhinoplasty. Didn't like it. Had to go back to do a revision. Shortly after, I would get hints of this foul odor. No redness, just at times I would smell this god-awful smell until the redness showed up. Went to the ER, gave me an antibiotic, told me to follow up with the ENT. It took 2 months to get in. Once I did the CT scan, they found out that I have a foreign object that was left in my nose during my surgery. Now I have to have a new surgery.
Dang, that is a nasal implant. 4 reasons I don't like nasal implants. Number 1, a lot of scarring. Number 2, they can become malpositioned or move around. Number 3, they can get horribly infected. And number 4, they can erode through the skin and cause extrusion.
Let me tell you the truth about getting a nose job, because if I'm going to de-influence anything, it's going to be that. First of all, I looked like this because they're literally opening your face and breaking your nose. It is the gnarliest experience of my entire life. I took the painkillers the first 4 days, and I genuinely do not remember a thing. But then the 5th day comes, and I didn't take them, and I started having awful diarrhea, like bad. Then on my way to my plastic surgeon checkup, I started to feel bad, like fever and chills. I made my dad pull over at this nasty Dunkin' Donuts on the side of the highway. I went in the bathroom, I threw up like 10 times, no exaggeration, and then I passed out on the floor, and yes, I did fall on my face. I get to the plastic surgeon's office and I still cannot stop puking. And my plastic surgeon informs me that I'm actually going through withdrawals from the painkillers, and if I can't stop puking, that I'm gonna need to go to the hospital. Thank God I ended up being okay, but those painkillers triggered my first manic episode and a psychotic episode that led to me getting diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Also, it doesn't magically fix your insecurities. Want to hear something crazy? I'm actually still insecure about my nose. The reason I feel like I have a good side and a bad side is because my nose looks softer from this angle, which I like, and then sharper for this angle, which I don't like, and I feel like it's crooked and asymmetrical, and I always go this way in picture. It straight up did not fix my deviated septum either. I have a cyst in this side of my sinus, and my deviated septum on this side is so bad that an ENT actually cannot fit a camera up my nose to look at it. Like, I probably need a second nose job. I used to get chronic nosebleeds my whole life before my nose job, and in the 8.5 years since I've had it, I haven't had a single one. That probably sounds like a good thing, but I don't know, it just feels suspicious. And listen, obviously not everyone has an experience as bad as mine, and I'm so lucky that in spite of all of that, it still looks so good. And I would be a hypocrite to tell you not to get one, because it's your body just like it was my body. But what I want you to consider is that this is a serious, invasive, permanent surgery. It is not glamorous, and I highly recommend therapy before you make any permanent decisions like that. Now here's the whole look. I love you guys. Take care.
I got a nose job. It's interesting actually. My nose was one of the only things that I really felt truly confident in. on my face, about my face, whatever. Forever, like since the day I was born, my dad was always like, oh, my little child with like a ski slope nose, like a cute little like slope, a little boop at the end. Like my nose used to look like this. And then I started dating a loser in 2017, and I went to one of his shows one time, and one of his dumbass friends literally kicked me in the face in a mosh pit of like 6 people total. If you're gonna ask me how that happened, I don't know. So anyway, I had to get a nose job, and it kind of has the bump from this angle, but from this angle it's completely straight, and this little bump, this little like nobular thing on the end of my nose, you can see on this side it's still curved. It used to be like that all the way around, but now it's only on just one side because my nose was broken into a million different pieces and shattered inside of my skull, and then they had to put it back together. You're probably like, Penny, like even if you didn't love your nose before, like isn't it kind of nice to just like have a new nose, like get whatever you want done to it? To that I would say no, actually, because the the surgeon asked me, he was like, before I put you under, is there anything about your nose that you want me to change? And I said, specifically, and I quote, no, just put my shit back on my face. I said I want it exactly the way that it was before this happened. Before the break, I want the same structure on all parts of my nose. I want it the same. Just put my shit back. This was also one of the top hospitals in the country, specifically for surgery. I was lucky enough to go to college in a town that like that hospital like randomly was there. This happened while I was at college, duh. So I told one of the best surgeons to make my nose exactly how it was, and he did not. He definitely did not. He failed. He failed, actually, and I feel like he probably ignored me and wanted to like make my nose straighter to make it look better, because my nose is so fucking straight. It was never like that before. So even if you ask for everything that you want, you still might not get it. So I recommend trying to love your nose before you go ahead and pay thousands of dollars to try and change it, because it might not look the same.
I got like a half botched, half okay nose job in 2018, and I want to talk about it. Okay, so here is side profile before. The only thing I wanted to fix was this bump, and I came out with a completely different nose. So this is after. I'll show you the front. That's where it changed shit up. Here's another little angle from the front before, and then from the front after. Okay, now my nose from the front is completely crooked. It's just like completely slanted. My tip is drooping and the sides of my nose are like up. This nostril is completely exposed, something that it wasn't before. This nostril is completely different, and my nose is just like facing this way now. I also have like divots in my nose up here, and I have a ball of cartilage in my nose. All shit that wasn't there before the nose job. I'm kind of just making this video to give you guys advice if you're looking to get a nose job. Do your fucking research and remember that, you know, you're changing your whole face. It's really scary, and it changes. Like, my nose has changed so much over the 3 years. I hate it. I'm looking to get a revision rhinoplasty. I have no idea where to go, so if you have any good doctors below, let me know. Like, I fucking hate my nose now. Like, what is this? Like, what is that? Like, what the fuck? If you're going to get a nose job, do your research, do some detective find patients that they've had, and then ask them. Go in with a list of specific details, things that you want, things that you don't want. That's something I didn't do, something that I should have done. You're the one paying. It's your face. Do not let the doctor just take control and do whatever he wants. That's what I did, and I hate my nose. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'll answer them. Just be careful, because it's a really big decision, and there's no turning back once you get the surgery.
We all know that nose jobs can be life-changing. We have seen them. I'm not sure if you know, it is one of the most dangerous cosmetic procedures, well, followed by the BBL. We're going to get into that. One bad cut, and then suddenly you can't breathe properly, your nose collapses, or you just end up with a shape that just does not fit your face. I know we have all seen those celebrities, you know, because you know them start with the thing. Those are from natural beauty to just looking like, well, unrecognizable after too many nose jobs. You just don't know who you're looking at. that, and I'm gonna draw for the famous, you know, don't come for me too hard in the comment section, but Michael Jackson, you know, his nose kept getting smaller and thinner to the point where it was barely there. And let's not forget that these nose jobs makes people nostril looks uneven or give them a permanently pinched look, you know, that pointy look.
I'm getting my nose done for the third time. Let's talk about it. This is kind of a long story, but I'm gonna try to make it quick. So 2 years ago, I had my primary rhinoplasty, and a year beforehand, I did a lot of research and thinking, and I found a surgeon in the US because I wanted someone to be close in case something went wrong, so I could easily go to them for follow-up appointments. I am patting myself on the back now because obviously things did go wrong. The surgeon I picked, I have nothing but good things to say about. He was Harvard trained, double board certified, he's an ENT, he has 5-star reviews, his cost was high, his availability was low, the consultation went really well, he was a really nice guy, and he fixed the problem that he created. Going into the surgery, initially, I wasn't nervous about the results. I was just nervous about the surgery itself, but that's just because of my medical anxiety. And I had full faith in him. I figured I didn't completely hate my original natural nose. I just wanted a couple tweaks. Like I had a little bit of a bump here. I wanted that smoothed down. I wanted a little bit less nostril show. Some refining to the tip, nothing dramatic, just little changes. And I figured whatever happens, it's going to end up looking better than before. The initial post-surgery process was not that bad. I was very swollen, a little bit bruised. When he took off my cast, it was extremely swollen, so I couldn't tell. But as the swelling went down, I started to really, really like my nose. And I was getting really excited about it because it takes a full year, even longer, they say, for a rhinoplasty to completely heal. So I figured that as the year went on, I would like it more and more because a lot of people say that. However, as the year went on, I started liking it less and less, and more problems started becoming uncovered as the swelling went down. So my nose looked completely crooked, and in some lighting, it looked very dramatically crooked, like curved from the front. Also, I started having cartilage showing through my thin skin, 2 little bumps. They were asymmetric. One was a little bit lower than the other. And we went in and talked about these issues. He did some steroid shots to try to help with the swelling to see if that would do anything. And eventually we decided that the way to correct it would have to be another surgery. He offered to do the surgery for me. All I would have to pay is for anesthesia, and he was very confident about it. In fact, we did it in office instead of at the surgery center that I had my initial surgery at. And I don't know, it seemed like it was an easy fix, and I do think that he fixed the problem. So what he did is he took some fascia from my ear, kind of cover and kind of refine the tip area, and I'm not exactly sure what all he did, but it did fix the way it was looking really curved, and it fixed the show of the cartilage. And it does look pretty nice. My husband always points out that this nostril looks slightly bigger than the other, and I do agree, but it doesn't bother me that much. What bothers me the most is kind of the width of my nose, and when I smile it gets even wider, which I know is normal. And then the worst part is my nostrils kind of point down. Every nose I've seen that I like, or nice nose, like the nostrils kind of point up. And when I smile, it makes my nose really look like it's drooping down. So I think I'm gonna get another surgery, and I think I'm gonna go to a different surgeon. I'm looking at 2 different surgeons right now, one in Dallas and one in New York City. And I really just want some tip refinement and change the nostrils, kind of lift the tip.
we'll see. I'm really nervous about it because I do know that it can make it worse potentially. Something could go wrong. I can breathe so well right now. I don't want that to be damaged. I don't know. It's just scary. This has taught me that you really need to be careful when it comes to plastic surgery and seriously think, is it worth it? The revision rate for rhinoplasties is so high, and there's a reason. It's just about functionality as much as it is about the way it looks, and that makes it even more difficult. Also, the tiniest millimeter can make the biggest difference on the nose, and I also think it's just so detail oriented. If anyone has had a rhinoplasty, especially a revision rhinoplasty, and has any tips or recommendations for me, I would greatly appreciate it.
A 22-year-old woman loses her life after a botched nose job from a TikTok promoted doctor. Margaret Spadder, full of hopes, travelled nearly 500 miles for a routine procedure, but what should have been a touch-up turned deadly, leaving her family devastated. After going under anesthesia, her condition deteriorated, and despite desperate attempts to save her, she never recovered. Her family is now demanding answers and justice. This is a stark reminder of real dangers behind social media promoted cosmetic surgeries. Margaret's story urges us to take a look beyond the glamorized image and recognize the serious risks that come with these procedures.
The plastic surgeon who I feel wronged me and caused me emotional lifelong damage. All I had asked for was a slope and a lifted tip. Slight slope, by the way. He basically presented this procedure as a walk in the park. Nothing he couldn't do. I saw how easy he thought this was, and I honestly felt pretty good about it. I was like, okay, if he thinks this is so easy and like so doable, let's do it.
After sitting down and speaking with her plastic surgeon, Samara felt pretty good about the situation.
Super important side note here, we walked out of that office without a quote. Hey girl, well, can you tell me the total? He said that your total will be $21,000. However, we decided to go through with the surgery. I had to make a life-changing decision in practically less than 5 minutes. The reason he was late and very visibly upset was because a receptionist at the surgery center messed up his sandwich order, and this made him angry. Very angry for someone who's about to cut someone's face open, right? From this point, my surgery was supposed to have started 30 minutes ago. It is at this point where he tells me he does not think he can do the slope and lifted tip at all. So he asks me to pull up a picture of what exactly I'm expecting. Why are we asking for a reference picture 20 minutes before I'm going under the knife?
Me know, would you rather live with a slightly crooked nose, or would you risk getting a nose job that turned out horribly?
British mum has died after having a Brazilian butt lift in Turkey, and when her body was examined by a UK coroner, large parts of her brain, heart and lungs were allegedly missing. Cadell Brown and her sister Leanne both travelled to Turkey for a tummy tuck, boob job and Brazilian butt lift, costing them £5,400 each. But before Leanne went into surgery, she was told her sister had died, with staff believing fat had travelled to her lungs. Leanne was refused access to Cadell's body and flown home with a refund. It's since been revealed that a UK coroner found large parts of her organs were missing. The clinic responded saying they handed her back untouched, and it's highly possible parts were removed while trying to determine the cause of death. A GoFundMe page has been set up to raise money for her 2 children. According to the Foreign Office, 28 Brits have died as a result of cosmetic surgery in Turkey since 2019.
There was supposed to be a package of 2 nights in the hospital and then back to the hotel for the remainder. And they threw me out after the first night. And this was 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm asking, what time's the transfer come to me to take me to the hotel? 4. Well, where'd I go? Just sit in reception. And I'm like, but I can't sit down. So...
Sorry, what had been... Sorry, at this stage, you'd been completely opened up here and stitched up right across your front?
At this point, I didn't know that they had done the BBL on me.
So you didn't know
anything about... No.
What's a BBL?
A BBL is when they take fat from parts of your body and inject it into your bum. And it's the most dangerous cosmetic procedure it can be done because it can go straight into veins and cause an embolism in your heart, I think. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you never asked for that? I didn't ask for it. I didn't find out that that happened to me until the 3rd day. I didn't know why I couldn't sit down. I'm on the phone. I'm trying to speak to people. Please help me. I'm in serious pain. And when I went to see the surgeon, he went, bum fat injections. And I was like, what? I had no clue that that had even happened to me. And I don't even have a bum to speak of after it anyway, so it was for nothing.
Rhinoplastic surgery. I'm getting my surgery with Dr. Riskiest. I'm getting my BBL round 2. I'm getting HD lipo and arm lipo, and I'm also getting J plasma. I'm super excited. His energy is so well. The office staff is super nice. They made me feel super comfortable. I am just happy that I'm going with Ivana, and I know that this is going to be the best. I can't wait to see my results.
We will be in Miami, Florida, where 2 sisters from Las Vegas went for cosmetic surgery in March of 2025. 28-year-old Monique Miller and her 19-year-old sister, Kiera Barnes, were super excited about the journey they were about to take and decided to document the process for everyone to see. The footage they captured started before they left Vegas and all the way until their procedures in Miami. This was going to be the first surgery for 19-year-old Kiera, but her 28-year-old sister, Monique, who also went by Scarlett or Big Scar, had already been under the knife and decided that she wanted to do more. Coming up, Scar was raised in San Diego area of California, where she was a West Coast lyricist, and that is when she adopted the stage name Scarlett as a teen. However, she moved on from music being her main priority, and as an adult, she was a serial entrepreneur, earning her certificate in body contouring while dabbling in other business ventures. It was literally by any means necessary for Scar to live a life full of her heart's desires and to give her daughter everything plus more. So when her daughter turned 1, she decided that she wanted to get a second BBL plus some other procedures to her body. This is their video journal of what was supposed to be a happy time for them, but within 2 days, things would turn bad quickly.
I'm sad I gotta leave my stinky though. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Thank you. Mommy be back. We'll be calling you every day.
So me and my sister got these cute little sweatsuits from Pink. You know, real BMF vibes. Real, you know, real. I see the big chain to throw on like how they was back in the day. You feel me? My sister got the pink one and it's so cute. So cute. Pink did they big on these. It's real cute, real flowy for our trip to Miami.
So I'm headed to the airport to get my surgery. My sister's pre-op is tomorrow. Mine is the next day. So we're gonna be vlogging. I'm getting my BBL round 2, lipo 360, ab etching, and arm lipo. So stay tuned. And yeah, I'm gonna eat you up.
Hey y'all!
Hi guys!
So our flight leaves at 9:25. It's currently 7 o'clock.
The little pink BMF outfits for the airport.
What?
Who you?
20K? 20K in surgery? Within 2 weeks? Real sisters? I don't know. Surgery's paid off. Recovery home's paid off. All that salads, so I could meet the BMI requirements. I need to detox, eat salads, and drink lactated water.
So we finally arrived in Miami. The flight was not long at all. By the time I woke up, we were landing. We are on our way to the recovery home. Well, we made it to Keela's recovery home. It's so bomb. Fully stocked on everything that you need. This is me and my sister's room. She'll be in the recliner because she's getting the tummy tuck and BBL, so she can't be laying down. And then this is, like I said, Keela came correct. She got our fajas, she got our foams, she got our lipo board, she got our BBL pillow. I definitely recommend Keela's recovery home. Like, this is so tea. So tea. Hey guys, so I am running on 30
That coffee put you to sleep.
30 minutes of sleep. I thought I was gonna be up with that little coffee, but we are on our way to Ivana for my sister's pre-op. And I'm a little delusional, but it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. I'm gonna make it through this. Okay, so update. I am currently waiting for my little sister to get out of surgery.
because her surgery is today and mine's tomorrow. So she gets out at 8:30, and then I'm gonna get dressed because I'm gonna be there when my baby get out. I'm like having the most anxiety. I'm not even supposed to be drinking coffee before my surgery, but I don't care. I'm having anxiety, and I'm just... Her surgery goes extremely well, and yeah, so just stay tuned. I did record some videos before she left, and the full blog and TikTok will be up in a couple days. So I just finished my pre-op. I'm currently waiting on Dr. Shane McDaniel so I can show him my inspiration pictures and just what look I'm going for. And yeah, pre-op went well. I passed the BMI that I was supposed to be, and I'm just ready to get this over with. Anyways, back to normal programming. My sister is out of surgery. I'm leaving my pre-op, and I'm on my way back to the recovery home. This is surgery day, so it's 8:30. My surgery's at 9:30. Hooray for me. I FaceTimed my baby and gave her a kiss through the phone. I am not scared. I'm just scared for when I wake up because coming off anesthesia is a shit show. But yeah, pray for me. Keep your prayers with me. Wish me a speedy recovery. Yeah, let's do this. Let's see.
We are doing this interview because you have some things that you want to let everyone out there know.
My name is Kiara Barnes. I am the sister of Monique Miller that passed away March 7th at Keela's Recovery House. And I just want to speak out because I'm seeing a lot of blogs, Surgery 411, multiple other blogs. None of them are saying accurate information. Everything they're posting is false. My sister was very healthy. My sister never was ever denied ever a surgery. I seen somebody post Surgery 411 say she was denied by one doctor and then went to Riskiest. That never ever was the case. We always from day one, always were scheduled with Ivana. We were scheduled with Dr. McDaniel. I did successfully go through with my procedure with Dr. McDaniel. My sister chose to switch doctors to Dr. Maminescus because that is my sister's choice. We all have a choice to do what we want to do with our body and to choose who we want to switch to Dr. Maminescus. I want to say thank you to Dr. Maminescus, Jody Maminescus. They've just been so helpful during this hard time for me and providing me with very good care. I'm here with Cece. She's been taking very good care of me. Keela has not refunded me for the stay. Never stayed the whole 6 days. We only were there for 2 days. So she left me out of $3,000. I was given medicine that was not prescribed to her at all by Dr. Maminescus. Keela unlawfully gave my sister Percocets that were not prescribed to my sister at all. They never picked up my sister's prescription. Someone contacted Keela asking where was my sister's meds. She said the pharmacy where it was at, which means she never picked up my sister's prescription and paying just how I was. And Keela took advantage of that. And she did give my sister the pills. She did not put them in my sister's hand, any of that. She put them in my sister's mouth and gave my sister the pills. And I just remember my sister going to sleep. My sister never woke up. I woke up from my nap. My sister was in the same position she was in for the whole day.
The girls appeared to have the options to pay more and get aftercare directly connected to the office where they had the surgery, but decided to save some money and went to a person who was allegedly not even qualified. Not picking up Scar's prescription, allegedly, and then allegedly giving her pills that were not prescribed to her is definitely a no-no. However, the family will not have the full answers as to what really caused her passing until the autopsy report comes back. I am truly glad that her sister was able to get moved and get post-op care from someone trusted, and I can't even imagine her pain, not only physically but mentally, having to see her sister pass away. This is a very tough time for this family, and her mother shared this online. My daughter, Monique, has passed away. She was my firstborn, my ladybug, my whole life. Please allow me the time to process this loss and begin to heal. Monique was also known as 619 Star and was a talented female rapper. She had been featured in many songs and collaborated with some of the best male rappers and producers out of San Diego. Monique Miller, aka Big Scar, May 11th, 1996 to March 7th, 2025. 28 years of shining like a star. Rest peacefully, my baby girl. Monique had just been a mother for only 1 year, and now that baby has lost her mother who cared for her so much. Any surgery is risky, but when it is elective and you lose your life, it is a hard pill to swallow. At only 28, she was really making moves to provide herself and her daughter financial security. And now, the talented songwriter, artist, and entrepreneur is forever young. Her life mattered, and she will be missed by all who loved her.
Ladies, I don't judge anybody that gets BBLs, but we really need to be careful who we are getting our bodies done with. Did you guys hear about the two sisters who went to Miami to get their BBLs? Well, they went together. For one of them, it was their second time getting BBLs, so she already knows the procedure. For the other one, it's their first time. Okay, so, they have recovery houses after surgery so somebody can take care of you, because that is a surgery. Somebody has to drain you, make sure that you are okay before you go home. Well, anybody can own one of those recovery houses. And what happened is that one of the sisters unfortunately passed away because the nurse at the recovery house gave her the wrong pills. They give you painkillers for the pain because for some people that's excruciating pain. Some people are used to it. Some people have high tolerance to pain. So it really all depends. Well, unfortunately, whoever owned that home doesn't know what they're doing. They weren't licensed, apparently, okay? And they gave that girl the wrong pills. When the other one came back, she's like, where's my sister? And unfortunately, her sister was no longer with us. So, listen, it's 2025. Everybody wants to be a baddie, and I'm all for it. But ladies, please, please be careful who you are going to. If it sounds too good to be true, then that means it is. A BBL, a real good quality BBL, should be $10,000 or more that I know of. If anybody's talking about giving you a BBL for $3,000, $5,000, that's probably not the best doctor, okay? Remember, this is your body. So the more you pay, obviously it's because you're dealing with professionals. And it's just really sad to hear that girl came back and she asked for her sister, and her sister was no longer here. Can you imagine? Rest in peace to her sister. I heard that she just had a baby. This situation is just so crazy, and so many women are passing away from BBLs. This is becoming just the norm. Look at Miss Jackie. This is just too much, y'all.
So my nurse just came because the soup that they gave me, I couldn't eat it on my own. So she came to feed me. And then I got up to walk. And just in the room, up and down. So the room is quite big, so up and down the room. And then I got to the mirror. And I turn around and look in the mirror. When I turned around and looked in the mirror, yeah, everything looks the same to me. Everything looks the same. Everything looks the same. It didn't look no different from how I came in. I didn't need another lipo. And nobody has to tell me. I don't need for anyone to tell me that. I brought this down on myself because I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I know what I've done and I know what I'm doing. I had to gain weight. I had to gain weight in order to get fat to put in there. And I gained like 15 pounds. Yeah. Just so I could get fat to put in there. To put myself through all this pain again. For it to look the same. I'm not looking for sympathy from no one, because as I said, I know what I'm doing, but there's one who messed it up in the first place. And I specifically asked for a doctor who could fix it, for a doctor who could fix the problem. I'm gonna go to sleep. I didn't get my surgery for free. It's the free surgery that fucked my bum, yeah. I paid my money to fix it. Because all this time I've been asking for them to fix it and nobody was paying me any attention. Yeah. And no one was paying me no attention when it comes to fixing it. I only got responded to when I messaged a doctor directly. You know, everybody works together, so everyone works together. So when I messaged a doctor, my company responded to me straight away because I was going to go directly to a doctor. I paid to fix my bum. And anyone can say what they want to say. I don't care. I can take the bashing, so anyone is free to say whatever they want to say or whatever they feel like. But I needed to fix my bum because it started to make me feel insecure. So I know I had to get it fixed. Regardless of what anyone wants to say. And anyone saying nothing's wrong with it. Because as I said, I didn't need lipo. I didn't need to do no lipo. But anyways. I guess God is telling me something to leave it. But as I said, I didn't born with my bum like that. I wasn't born that way.
Let's get into this whole BBL disaster. You know, that surgery that took social media and everybody just running to Dr. Miami to get that hourglass shape. Yeah, but for every good BBL, trust me, we have seen some great results. There's a horror story, and some people end up with botched, lumpy, and just downright dangerous results. And I alluded to before, some even led to, you know what.
Okay, new theory unlocked. Woman goes to the Dominican Republic for a Brazilian butt lift, finds herself without a kidney. What? Excuse me? So according to the article, she went to the Dominican Republic to get a tummy tuck, liposuction, and Brazilian butt lift, all for the cost of $3,500 US. After returning to the States, she wasn't feeling good. She was complaining of body aches, headaches, etc. So she went for a checkup. So during this checkup, they was asking her questions and they had asked her, did she have surgery recently? And she said, yeah. So they ran some tests and they find out that the numbers from her kidneys were low. Next, they decide to do a scan. When they do the scan, that's when they found out her kidneys was gone. Missing, not there. Well, just one. And of course, after she found out her kidneys was missing, she tried to go find a doctor. But of course, he's gone. She had originally found him on Instagram. He deleted his Instagram, all social media accounts, and she can't find him. But yeah, if the price is too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
So this year, I'm going to try and shrink my BBL naturally, and I'm going to try and document it.
This Christmas has honestly done me so dirty. I am a mess. We have had our app launch and everything has just been wild. So if you want to know how I ended up becoming a PT with a BBL, you can check my pin post. I'm so pale right now and I can't find my clips, so we're just gonna have to do this, okay? I've also got no eyebrow pencil. I'm just, this year is just a mess already. Yeah, so in pregnancy, that's doing nothing. So in pregnancy, I gained 50 pounds, as you'll have probably heard me speak about before, and it all went to my backside, and I just look absolutely ridiculous. Worst thing I ever did, getting that surgery. I wish I could go back and tell my 22-year-old self, you are a stupid bitch. Do not do that. You are not a Kardashian. You will not look like a Kardashian. But here we are. Here we are at nearly 32 years old, dealing with the consequences of my actions. So obviously a BBL is just fat, so it means that it can be lost with weight loss. And I looked absolutely fine at my wedding. I didn't even notice anything. Nobody pointed it out. It just looked completely normal. I do have some lumps at the side, obviously, where things have been put in my hips. And I do think, if anything, that is the thing that I would probably reduce if I need to. And the reason for that is I don't necessarily want to go and have an unnecessary surgery. I've got a child now. I don't want to be put to sleep. It's just, no, I don't want to do that. But I think if I was to be able to get down to a weight where I've shrunk it enough, then I can potentially just get a little bit taken out of the hips, and that'll be a much less dangerous area for them to work on, and I can be awake. So I've probably lost around about 40 pounds since giving birth, which is crazy. I'm only 5'3", and I've probably got another 20 to go, if I'm honest, to get this, the ears out, to get this to a point of where it looks normal. Actually, that's probably about maybe 15 pounds away from looking semi-normal. But yeah, once I've actually got down to my regular, a little bit under my regular weight, then we can reevaluate and see if the surgery is going to be necessary. I just want to avoid surgery at all costs, and obviously I'm being trolled on my appearance quite regularly, and it is quite obvious that, you know, this doesn't look normal at the moment. But I don't just want to jump into surgery just because other people are trolling me for the way that I look, because this is how I ended up here in the first place. So I don't know if you would find this interesting or is something you want to see. Let me know. My bum did actually get up to like 50 inches in pregnancy, and it is now, I think I got it back down to 45 at the moment. I know that around about my wedding it was 41, so let's see if we can get there.
I definitely can say now that I regret having a BBL. I think that the career path that I've chosen to take, I actually regret getting my BBL sometimes. I got a BBL back in 2021 in the middle of the pandemic, and the reason why I say I hate it sometimes is because the way that it's shaped, is a little, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, like the body still be a little T a little bit, but in certain stuff it's giving real boxy, and I don't know, like I guess this is for like most people anyways. Like it ain't even just people with BBLs. Like if you just have a certain shape, certain things you're just not gonna look good in, you know. And then like my expectation, like I don't know exactly what I expected myself to look like. Like I wasn't even shaped like what I thought I was gonna look like. Not only that, but like the weight gain, like when you get your body done and you realize that like you really you start doing certain things, drinking and eating certain things that you feel like you couldn't have done before because your body already where you needed to be. But it catches up with you, and it catches up with you fast. After a year, like I was over 200 pounds. No, I'm dragging it. I wasn't 200 pounds. I was probably like 185, but that's close enough to me. I don't know. I feel like I can get more into detail, but those are just some of the reasons. I regret getting my BBL part 2. Alright, so another reason why I regret getting my BBL is because I thought that my life was going to change. Like, I don't know, not change, but like I thought that I would be making more money or something, or just, I don't even know. I'm not gonna lie. I went to the like most unsafe, one of the most unsafe places to get this surgery done, and I went by myself. Like, I really could've, like, something bad could have happened to me, bro, and I was alone. But I was young and I was turned. I'm still young and I'm still turned, but I was really young and turned, and I really didn't care. No fucks was given. And I regret it because a lot of people who wasn't looking my way before started to look my way now. And then unfortunately, when you realize that these same people that wasn't even checking you out before is actually lames in real life, and the people who actually checked for you before the BBL was actually one of the realest people. Yeah. Sister who got a BBL and regrets it. When I say I thought my sister was gonna die, there were so many women walking with canes. My sister just passed out. There's blood everywhere. I called the emergency room. They're like, yeah, okay. So they literally acted like next burger. Oh my God. But these are people's bodies. Y'all don't understand. It's one of the most risky operations that you could ever do.
You have an artery in your butt.
It's so dangerous.
And one slight nick
to
that artery, and you...
Every single spot her body was hurting, my body started to get sore. Oof. That whole experience was just like, for a trend?
For society. For validation. For validation.
At least wait until it's a decision for you.
How many of you need to be unalived for you to stop doing cheap surgery in Turkey? I'll wait. You don't do your research. You run in because you just take pictures of IG model and show them and say, yeah, I want to look like her. I want to look like Jada Wader. And they say, okay, yeah, we can do that. Then all of a sudden you end up unalive because you don't even know how much previous unalive cases they've had. Do your research. Stop rushing to go Turkey with a $3,000 or doing payment plans on your body. Like, seriously.
We have all seen those BBLs that just look too big for the person's frame. The hip don't match and it just looks out of proportion. Sometimes it seems like they have a shelf attached to their lower back. That's the way I can best describe it. Or just picture a big butt ants. Yeah, it's kind of giving that, or a full diaper. They are the uneven ones, you know, where one side is bigger than the other and they walk around just looking permanently twisted. And of course, let's not even get into, you know, the horror stories where people go in and get these illegal injections with cement or tire sealant instead of getting real fat transfers. Some people, as I alluded to before, even lost their lives over having a bad BBL.
During the procedure, they popped a blood vessel in my face. I didn't know that had happened, but later on I found out that was what happened.
Jessie's fox eye thread lift procedure ended up turning into her biggest regret.
That caused me to blow up like Megamind. There's another photo of it. They were like, oh no, this is completely normal. Your swelling will go down in like a week's time. Just put ice on it. In total though, I think I was a balloon for about like 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks. This is like the second day, I'm pretty sure, after getting it done. This was the third day, I'm pretty sure, because I went back in for a quick checkup. During the second week, I started noticing bruising on my left eye, which is the same eye that the blood vessel popped off.
The swelling eventually went down, but then Jessie noticed that one brow had dropped. The same thing then happened to the other one, meaning she had no fox eye lift results at all. And the threads started to poke out of her face, so she needed to have them surgically removed.
If you guys can't tell, I got my threads removed. My face currently looks like I've got 2 golf balls on them, but it's fine.
Some of the threads had already dissolved, so they removed the ones that they could and stitched it up.
And this is me now. So my fox eye thread has turned blackish, which is very concerning. So I have come to my cosmetic surgeon, which I thought I was never going to come back to again. And he's going to have a look at my threads and hopefully let me know what's happening. He put a steroid injection into the area. I think that lightens the scar and also helps with how the scar is currently progressing. So it's been a couple of days since I got the steroid injection. And from what I've noticed, it's taken away all of the inflammation. So it was a bit like out before, and now it's kind of like sunken in. It's almost like there's an indent in my head now. Also noticed the color is turning back to more of a reddish color rather than a black color. I don't know if it will go away because it's been like a month or so now, I think, and nothing's changed, but I'm just hoping over time it does. People have been saying that it looks like necrosis or like these other conditions happening on the thread, but the doctor has said that it isn't anything major or serious. It's just a scar. There's no pain or anything there. It's literally like I could press on it as hard as I wanted and it doesn't hurt or anything like that. So yeah, I don't think there's too much to worry about in that sense.
Let's talk about the facelifts, because the facelifts are supposed to make people, you know, look younger and have that youthful appearance, but sometimes they do the exact opposite. Have you ever seen someone with a facelift that just left them looking like permanently surprised? Are those extreme cases where the skin just looks so tight as if that they're constantly fighting a strong wind? Yeah, you know me I talk about it, just look all the way back.
If you're in your 30s and already thinking about getting a facelift, let me stop you before you make the worst decision of your life. People are coming into my practice asking me if they need to get a facelift at 33, 35, 36, and I'm about to lose it, yo. And don't be fooled, they're marketing it as a mini facelift. A mini facelift is still a facelift. It doesn't matter if you're just cutting from here, or if you're cutting from here, or if you're also cutting from here. You're still getting a facelift. As a cosmetic dermatologist, you should not be thinking of your face in the now, but rather you should be thinking of your face in the how it is going to age, i.e. the journey ahead, because you only have one face, and unfortunately or fortunately for you, you gotta live with it. And if a facelift has a 8 to 10 year lifespan, which by the way, you still need to maintain, if you do it at 35, hypothetically, are you gonna do it at 45, 55, and then 65? What the hell are you gonna look like by the time you hit 70? You only have so much skin, number one. But each time you get a facelift, your face is going to shrink. They take out some of that tissue underneath the surface of your skin. And on top of it, your bone structure is also shrinking. So as you get older and you get tighter and you get wider and you get pulled, what are we going to look like in our 70s? Some version of that. And trust when I say, doing it too early and with the wrong person will be the worst mistake of your life, because you only have one chance to do it, just like losing your virginity. Let me know if you got any questions below.
I regret shrinking my face in Korea. So I got 2 face shrinking procedures when I went to Korea last year called Ultherapy and InMode. In America, they're not advertised as shrinking treatments, but they're kind of used that way in Korea. And they're both non-invasive treatments that lift and slim your face. So when I was in Korea last year, I got very excited and I got 2 of these treatments within 3 weeks of each other. And I think that's where I messed up, because this is me before and this is me 4 months after the treatments. You can kind of see the difference throughout my videos, but it's very noticeable in person. People tell me my face looks smaller. And on top of that, because they only did the treatment from the eye down, the bottom half of my face shrunk, and now my forehead looks bigger in proportion. So just take this as a cautionary tale. I don't think these treatments are bad. I actually think they can be beneficial. But I also understand that when you're in Korea, there are clinics everywhere. Everything is more affordable. It can be so easy to get carried away and just do a bunch of stuff. Don't. Please. Take each treatment slowly and see how it affects your face.
You know, while doing my research, I realized that one of the worst things that can happen with a facelift is it ages you instead of you looking more refreshed. It works in reverse. Some people end up looking entirely different, and yet celebrities and the regular people nowadays, because it has become so accessible, they keep going back, and some have even had their face looking frozen and stretched. Do you think that people are getting addicted to these facelifts, that some people are so unrecognizable, and do you think that they have gone too far? Of course, sound off in the comments below.
Ladies, I'm going on my 4th breast surgery in less than 2 years. I'm emotionally exhausted, so sit back, grab a drink, and let me tell you a little story. I first got my breast done, 485 cc's, saline, and this was probably in like 2007. One day I literally woke up and I was like, you know what? I want them bigger and I want silicone. So I scheduled the surgery and completely flipped, and you could tell it just looked so weird. The surgeon by way of pictures, did confirm that the implant actually did flip. And I gave advice on how I could flip it back. You guys, my sister and I was in the bedroom on the floor flipping this implant, and it was one of the most traumatic things I've ever done. I will tell you about the most traumatic thing that I've done in this story time. So, breast implant flipped back to the right side. I went on about my day and my trip, and everything was fine. And then it started to come back. It was almost like the trauma of the boob flipping and me flipping it back caused my capsular contracture to come back. So a month involved, and you always, I know that I did this, you always hear them telling you these things, but you don't think it can happen to you until it does. Another thing is capsular contracture, they will have you think, oh, it's just a very small percentage of women that this happens to, and it's not true. It's not true. I just wanted to share, ladies, stop doing the most like I did. Learn from me and learn from my mistakes. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just leave it alone.
I removed my breast implants, and if you want to know why, keep watching. I had 525 cc's gummy bear implants, and I had them for about 2 years and 9 months. I got them done here in Houston, and I removed them here in Houston, but not with the same surgeon. So it all started with me having problems with just my right breast. It started as anxiety. I would feel like I wouldn't have a bra on, and I would feel a lot of pressure just on this one, which wasn't a very good feeling. I would feel heat. I would feel a lot of stabbing pains on it. If I would sleep on my chest, my arm would go to sleep. My back was killing me. I could not sleep through the night. I would toss and turn all night. I was going to the gym at the time. I was going every single day. So, I mean, I was healthy probably. I was even eating healthier than I normally would have been. And that was some of the first symptoms. Then I went to Cancun for my birthday. I came back. 2 days later, I was super sunburned, and I felt 2 bumps on my right breast. I immediately booked an appointment with an OB, and they did an ultrasound. They said that they had found 2 nodules. I didn't stay at ease, so I went to another doctor, and they did an ultrasound. They told me they were cysts. I went to the ER. They did another ultrasound, and they told me the same thing, that they were cysts. But at the ER, they did give me a scare. They told me, oh, this is not normal. You're going to have to go see another doctor and get a mammogram done. So I got out of the ER crying. I was bawling my eyes out. I was panicked. I thought I had cancer. So I was just not at ease with what they were telling me. I called different doctors. I called like probably 5 more clinics to get my mammogram scheduled. But unfortunately, for my age, I'm not allowed to get one. I have to be 35 and up, probably, here in Texas, which is very bad, but I mean, they just didn't want to do it. So I decided to go to Mexico. I went to Mexico, and I went with this doctor that is pretty good. I did all my blood work. I did a pap smear. I checked my breast. She did another ultrasound. And she told me that I had a cyst and that I had a fibroma on my breast. She did tell me that there was no treatment for them, that she would try to give me a certain type of pill that would maybe get rid of the problem, but she wasn't 100% sure. So I bought my treatments, and I went about my day, okay? She told me to come back in 2 months, and that if they were not gone in 2 months, or if they had grown, that we would proceed with with something different. So then I come back home to Houston. The next day, I had a whole psychotic breakdown. I don't know why, because the doctor did ease my mind a little bit, but I had a psychotic breakdown. My whole body was reacting super weird. I did not sleep through the night. I couldn't stay still. My arms would cramp up. My back was just so anxious. Anxiety was running and took over my body completely, which I had never experienced before. So that was really weird. The next day I booked an appointment and I went to a regular doctor. She did more blood tests. She checked my breast. She talked to me about what we could do or whatever, but she ended up just telling me it was anxiety, that nothing was wrong. My blood test came back all clear. Everything was fine. I did have low vitamin D, but she said that that wasn't a big problem to cause my anxiety that much. And she did prescribe me some pills that would antidepressants, but I did not take them. I had never been on any medication. I don't really like taking pain medication or any type of medication unless I really have to. And I just didn't take her medication. Then I got better. I took like 3-4 days to even just recover from that psychotic breakdown that I had. After that, I joined a bunch of Facebook groups with BII, breast implant illness, which I don't know why, but one night I just decided to search it up, and I did find a lot of people my age, 20s, 30s, 50s, that were going through the same thing. And a lot of what they were saying really did go with what I was going through. So I just said, whatever, I'm gonna remove my implants. I booked about 4 consultations with 4 different doctors, and one of them really sold me the surgery. The other ones were not very, I mean, they're good surgeons, but didn't really fit to what I wanted. And I got booked and I took them out. I have been sleeping through the night without waking up. I haven't had anxiety run through my head ever since I took them out, and this is barely day 3. I have no pain. I do have drains, but they will be taken out probably in 2 more days, and that really did ease my mind a little bit. So, I mean, we're women, right? Somos vanidosas, queremos vernos bien, pero God didn't bring me into this world with big breasts, so He doesn't want me to have them, then I won't. So yeah, that's my story. And I'm not saying that removing your implants is gonna cure you, or it cured me, but it's just a decision I decided to take, and I'm just here saying my story and what I went through. But yeah.
Ready with me for a surgery appointment for what will be my 14th procedure. Whilst I'll tell you why I've had so many surgeries. So when I was 19, I had a breast reduction. That went so horrifically wrong. I've spent the past 11 years correcting that initial surgery. 11 years. So we knew that the operation went wrong within days of waking up from the first surgery. I used to be a double H cup, and there were 2 main reasons why I just knew I wanted surgery. One was the crippling back pain. I was in pain from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep every day since I was 15. The emotional toll that being in constant pain takes is like no other. The other reason was because I hated the attention from men. I was sexualized from such a young age by people I knew, by strangers in the street. People wouldn't just give you a subtle look. People would scream and hackle, but to a level that, as a really, really shy, introverted 15-year-old, I just couldn't cope with. It was so relentless. I remember being out in public with my mum and my dad, and grown men were leering at me. So I went into the surgery as a double H cup and woke up about a D/double D. I can't tell you how good the feeling was to wake up and literally have a huge weight lifted off your chest. I could suddenly see past my tits and I could see my toes again. It was incredible, but within 3 days, it all went to shit. 3 days after the surgery, I noticed a hole in my left breast, right at the bottom of the anchor point of the scar. It wasn't a small hole. I could see deep into my breast. We went straight back to the surgeon. He said, you need surgery straight away. And the next day, I was back in the hospital having it closed up. Within a week of that second surgery, I had 8 more holes all over the stitch lines. My breasts were literally coming apart at the seams, literally. The smell that my open flesh was producing was like no other. So I obviously went straight back to the surgeon. Turns out I was allergic to the stitches. The internal sutures that they used, my body was rejecting. Every single stitch was trying to come out of my body. I would take off the dressing and they would be covered in blue little sutures where they were just throwing themselves out my body. Rather than offering to redo the operation, take all the stitches out and start again and put new stitches in, the surgeon tried to charge me another operating fee and basically let us know in a not so subtle way that he didn't want to help. Kind of just thought that that's what surgeons must have been like. It's not. Then spent the next 10 months with open wounds that were trying to heal. Some of them were this big, they'd take up my entire breast. Completely open wounds that we were told would heal in time. It took nearly a year. And as you can imagine, the scars were huge. Most of my breast was now taken up by scar tissue, extremely aggressive keloid scars. Some of them were nearly black. So an entire year after my surgery, my wounds had finally closed and I wasn't having to reapply fresh dressings every week. I couldn't have a bath for a year. It was not fun. Once I was healed, I then started looking for another surgeon to essentially start the corrective work. Since then, I think I've had about 12 reconstructive procedures. Internal scar removal, external scar removal, reconstruction of my nipples, replacement of my nipples, redoing the reduction and lift. As you can imagine, left me with very, very small boobs because so much of that tissue had to be removed. So a year and a half ago, I had more scar revisions and also this time I had implants put in. Implants. After a breast reduction. Make it make sense. They were the smallest implants you can get in the UK and they were there as placeholders to kind of stop my breasts continuing to eat themselves with scar tissue. I know it sounds horrible and it really was. I thought that was the end of it and that would be my last procedure, but since then I've had some more keloid scars come up, especially around my nipples, which are now quite misshapen and nowhere near round. The surgeon that I'm seeing today is the man who has done all of my corrective procedures, and when I tell you I trust this man with my life, literally. He specialises in reconstruction and he works with a lot of people who have experienced breast cancer and people who've had burns because his specialty is scars and reconstruction. And although I am neither of those things, that's the type of reconstruction that I've been having. Needless to say, it has been a process, and when I first got a breast reduction, there is no way I thought that I'd be having operations over 10 years later to correct the initial operation. With that being said, I still don't regret my decision. It was still the best thing that I decided to do for myself. If you are considering a reduction, I would still recommend it, and I still think it's one of the most freeing things I did. Right, let's go see this surgeon, find out what the next plan is.
If you're thinking about getting a melon job, let this be your sign to not do it, because it's not all that, and it's not what it's played out to be. I got my melon job back in 2020, and prior to that, I was the it girl. Like my fashion sense, like my outfits were so chic. They were just it. Like they really ate down bad. I have not been able to dress myself since 2020. Anything that I want to wear, it either looks super bulky and I look massive and just ugly, or I look like, because now I have mass. Now there's cleavage. Mind you, I like that look when I'm going out. Not when I'm back in the office. Now I'm back in the office and I need to start dressing myself, and I just haven't been able to find my style. It is so frustrating when I tell you that this is the biggest regret of my life. Like, no joke. And sure, you look really good in the act. But how many times do you perform the act versus how many times do you actually dress up and go to work? And ultimately, my man's gonna put whatever I give him in his mouth. Whether that's an A cup or a double D cup, okay? I had a cute vision. I had a vision for my outfit today. I've seen the girly pops wear something similar and I just wanted to make it my own. I just had a vision. Maybe it's the color of the top, the long sleeve, but this is supposed to be loose, flowy, you know what I mean? Like, because the mass is out here, now it just takes over the entire thing. It is no longer oversized, now it's form-fitting. I used to rock blouses. I was the chunky sort of girl. I would style that. Oh, when I tell you my outfits, I can't wear a blouse now without looking like an Olive Garden server. If I wear a chunky turtleneck now, I'm like this. I'm over it. I told my man I want them out. We're hosting a funeral for them. There's a doctor I found in Texas. My friend went to him. He specialized in removing implants and finding fat in your body to shove some, you know, a little bit back in there. So I'm going that route. I'm hosting a funeral for these and I'm tired of it. Don't get the work done. Save those $7,000.
Oh, let's continue with this whole breast lift nightmare, because the breast lift, I think it sounds simple, right? Just lift things up and make them, you know, all perky again. But when they go wrong, they go very wrong. Imagine getting a breast lift and then waking up and you find that one is maybe sitting higher than the other. Even worse, there are two completely different shapes or even two completely different sizes. I don't know how, but it's possible. I know we have all seen, you know, some of these ladies, including celebrities, having their boob job that just looks very rock hard instead of natural. And let's not forget, guys, let's talk about the scarring, because some women end up with huge scars that they were not expecting.
Your breast implants are killing you. I said it. It's true. I had them. It took me a while to get my head wrapped around getting rid of them. I tried to prove that I didn't have to get rid of them by testing every 2 months, going on cleanses, trying to get the chemicals, the phthalates, the compounds, the metals out of my body. I couldn't do it. And they're killing you too. Yes, we're dying every day, but you're dying faster if you have implants in your body. You need to get rid of them. And if you're going to choose not to do that, you need to detox every single day. Think about it. What problems do you have? Trouble sleeping? Thyroid issues? Can't lose weight? Any sort of autoimmune? Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Anything? Is your hair falling out? Are your nails not growing? Do you have skin issues? You are toxic. Detox, detox, detox. That's how to do it.
So I have made an almost $8,000 mistake. Yeah. About 2 years ago, I got my boobs done, and I have regretted it almost ever since. I mean, almost immediately after healing and whatnot, and whenever I saw myself, I knew deep down that I was not happy with what I did. I tried to love them. I really, really did, because I had just spent $5,000 on them. And it was something that I had thought I wanted for so long, and I did so much research. I, you know, TikToked it, Googled it, did Facebook groups. I talked to a couple different doctors. Like, I did my research, and I really, really thought that that's what I wanted. However, they're just simply not flattering for everybody, at least in my opinion, for myself at least. They're not flattering to me at all. They make me feel and look 50 pounds heavier. I feel like I'm toppling over. I feel so top heavy all the time. I don't feel comfortable in anything that I wear. I feel like nothing is flattering on me. I feel like if I wear a tight shirt, I look super busty. If I wear a loose shirt, I look super big all up top. Like, they're just not, they're not doing it for me. Straight up not been having a good time with them. And I really, really wish that I would have listened to everybody telling me, like, you don't need them. You shouldn't do that. You already have a decent amount of breast tissue. Like, before I got them done, I was a full C cup. Now I am like, I don't even know. I wear sports bras. I don't even own an actual bra anymore because I need to like compress them as much as I can. I don't even know what size I wear, but I know that I guarantee you it's at least a double D. I don't know. But I was a full C cup prior to getting them done. And now I'm obviously much bigger. I got 450cc implants. I did low profile, so that means like less projection out from the chest. But I did that because I thought that that would help me. And I thought that it would make it not as busty. It did not do that for me. It is hard to work out. It's hard to run. It's just not having a good for them. So I cannot wait to get them removed. And I don't know why I'm even telling TikTok about this, but I'm going to start recording. Like, I'm going to record as much of the experience as I can, because I feel like there's not a whole bunch out there about explant. You see a bunch of videos about implants, but not a bunch about explants. So I'm gonna record as much of this as I can, and then put it on here in case anybody could find the videos useful. But anywho, yeah, that's it.
These are the 2 reasons I regret my boob job. The first reason is that it made me gain about 10, maybe 15 pounds. I was pretty fit before my procedure, and then afterwards, honestly, my recovery was kind of rough. So I wasn't working out, I wasn't lifting weights, I was just too weak to do any of that. I gained a bit of weight and I lost muscle because I just wasn't as active as I was before. And that combination just made me chubby for almost the entire year. It took like 6 to 9 months for me to get back into the gym. And even now, 1 year later, I'm still not lifting as heavy as I used to. Second reason is that it gave me chest acne, which sucks. I've never had chest acne before, but I think what makes it really bad is that my skin type scars. So if I get a pimple, if I get any kind of blemish, it will leave a scar. It's been a year and I still get pimples on my chest. They'll come and go pretty fast, but they always leave a tiny little scar. So my chest pretty much looks like it's covered in little freckles or like sunspots. That's the look that I'm gonna go for. I've learned to embrace it because what can I do? I'm not gonna like cover my chest up and start wearing turtlenecks after paying for cleavage. So yeah, those are the 2 things that I did not anticipate. Bear that in mind before you get a boob job.
So I want to show you guys something. I had my implants removed in 2020. Yeah, and they've just been sitting. Look at that. That goes inside of a human body. Look at the mold. No wonder why women are having so many complications with these things. It's disgusting. Those suckers were heavy. Let's look at the other one. Let's see how bad this one is. Look at that. That's inside the implant. Like, ew. I am so thankful I had my breasts explanted. Women, if you're suffering from any sort of symptoms, definitely check out BII, and this is what the inside of your implants probably look like.
Let me know, do you think that breast lifts are actually riskier than people assume? And if someone gets maybe like a botched breast lift, do you think that they should try and get it fixed, or do you think they should just leave it because it just might make things worse? First, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, let's discuss this whole tummy tuck failure, because on one side, tummy tucks can be great, but they also come with the worst horror stories in plastic surgery. The biggest problem, this massive scar that stretches from one hip to the other, and in some cases, most cases, the belly button end up looking completely unnatural. It's either too high or too low or just off center. It just not look normal.
I've lost almost 200 pounds, and 4 months ago I had skin removal surgery. I trusted a surgeon who told me that I would be flat. As you can see, I'm not. I was originally just going to do a paniculectomy, which is the apron of overhang, but they talked me into doing the vertical and horizontal incision. I was told I was going to have a fleur-de-lis tummy tuck. This is what I've been left with. What even is my belly button? It's awful. You want to see my belly button? This is what it looks like from my angle. I was told I would be flat. This is all the loose skin that is still there, and that's apparently my belly button. I had an innie before. I don't know what this is. So I met with 3 different surgeons, and the one I chose, I absolutely fell in love with her. The first 2 surgeons that I saw were going to do just a paniculectomy, which is the horizontal cut, removing the apron of overhang, and that is covered by insurance in some circumstances. It is not cosmetic, and it just removes the skin that hangs. My surgeon that I chose asked me if I was willing to pay the cosmetic upgrade so that I could have the vertical incision added, and she would perform a fleur-de-lis tummy tuck in addition to the paniculectomy. And then she offered to throw in a pubic lift and a belly button relocation, which is a new belly button. The other surgeons I met with were going to do the paniculectomy first and then tummy tuck separate. I trusted her.
I'm officially
in swell hell, as my friend called it. It's miserable. I am 7.5 weeks post-op of my tummy tuck, and let me tell you, since I've started working out, all I have done is swell. I have eaten so clean. So freaking clean. I have been sticking to all of my goals every day. And I am so swollen and bloated. Granted, yes, I know I need to lay off the sodium. That's my bad. I'm a salty girl, okay? But I cannot believe the level of swelling. It is uncomfortable. It hurts. It messes with your head. Like, you guys know, I am a pretty confident, positive body image type of person. And this is hard for me. So I just want you to know that if you've had a tummy tuck and you start working out, or maybe you're not working out and you're still just swelling, breathe, because this will pass. This is temporary. And it's not weight gain. It's inflammation and swelling. Okay? Let's just say that together. It's not weight gain. It's inflammation and swelling, and it's normal. It's normal. Okay, that's it. We're fighting through. We're going to stay positive. Bye.
Alright guys, so as promised, I am doing an update on my tummy. This is what my tummy tuck scar is looking like. I am officially 13 days post-op, makes 2 weeks tomorrow. And this is what it's looking like so far. It does itch like crazy due to healing. But I couldn't be more satisfied with my results. I love it. My belly button's healing nicely. Just overall, I'm excited. I'm excited for the outcome. It's already looking great. The incision is very low. I typically apply triple antibiotic ointment on it, and I cover it with gauze and dressing because I do wear my faja on top with foam boards and the hard boards. So in order to keep it safe, I definitely dress it with bandages like this on top of gauze and tape as well.
If you don't know, I had an explant and breast lift, as well as a mini tummy tuck with liposuction 2 weeks ago. I almost wish that I didn't do it. Not because I'm not happy with the results, because I am. But because I'm a very active, hard-working, go-getter type of person, and the recovery has been hellacious for me. And typically, I'm a very tough, strong, keep-going type of person. I have always been. But this has really knocked me on my ass, and I'm really starting to question my decision. And I'm very frustrated and down, and I'm just ready to feel normal again.
It's horrible. It's devastating. Some people even end up with skin that looks lumpy or maybe uneven. It's almost like their stomach was pretty much patched together. And let's not forget the people who go in just for a simple tummy tuck and they come out with their skin that is pulled too tight, and of course it makes it look completely unnatural.
Oh, let me get lip filler. Why does it look like that? What the? I feel like I'm on Love Island. What? What?
So I wanted to do a personal video on this topic because unfortunately a mum of 5 has passed away due to having had bum filler last week, and sadly she's passed away at the age of 33, leaving behind 5 children. It's absolutely heartbreaking, and I cannot get over the fact that this industry, aesthetics, is the way that it is, and how people are not being held accountable for this type of thing happening. And I'm hoping that off the back of this situation something's going to be done. Now, I happen to know of the person that administered the filler, and anyone that's an aesthetics practitioner will know just how much of a risky procedure that is. You just have to be so careful, and you know, there's a lot of bad practice that goes on out there, and people aren't being accountable for what they're doing, and they should be. And as a result of this, said person and said owner of clinic have been arrested under suspicion of manslaughter. Now, this woman who lost their life clearly was having this done because she felt insecure about something, but it's our responsibility as practitioners to ensure that what we're doing, how we're doing it, is ethical. You have the client's best interest at heart, and also safety. Safety is such a massive part of this. Why? I can't, it just makes me so angry. This is the first person to lose their life to bum filler in the UK.
So it goes from a solid density to a liquid density. So now when I let go, you've gone all wrinkly because it's actually breaking down the filler. I'm gonna squeeze. Get a better grip actually.
Oh my god, it's
Ready?
fucking crazy right now. Oh my god.
So I've included fillers in some of my beauty hacks gone wrong before, but we can't just get enough of it, so I had to include it in today's video. Oh, fillers are supposed to be like a quick fix, to aging, but sometimes they make you look worse. Seeing those overfilled lips that look cartoonish, or those cheeks that look extra puffy, they barely move when a person talks, absolutely no expression. And some people have taken getting fillers way too far, to the point where they don't even look like themselves anymore. It changes their entire feature, and the scariest part is that when the fillers are done wrong, they can migrate into other parts of your face, making it permanently uneven.
This is what happens when lip injections gone wrong. I had a vascular occlusion in my lip because of the injections. I guess when my last lady put the filler in my lip, she put it too close to my blood vessel, which was stopping the oxygen from going in my lip. And what would have happened if my whole lip died, which it almost did, they would have had to literally cut it off because it's a dead lip. I kind of wanted to give an update on how I'm feeling because I am trying to take it easy. I'm like hurting every time I eat. Was not feeling too good working out. A lot of people were asking me, when did you go get your lip injection? Was it sudden? And you guys, I haven't got my lips done for 5 months. This happened out of nowhere. It is healing really well, but the only problem is my actual skin under my lip, right here, is getting very irritated. This is what my lip looked like yesterday morning. And this is the color on my lip that I noticed when I realized my lip was dying. So if you ever see this color, make sure you run to the emergency room. That was just such a scary experience. And I'm so happy that best case scenario happened. And I still have my lip and I caught it in time. I've been using Aquaphor and this bruise cream. They're my best friend right now. Tomorrow I have a birthday party that I cannot miss. So I can't really drink, but I keep doing so much research on this thing that happened to me and it's making me go insane, so I need to be distracted. I love you guys so much. I'll keep you updated on my lip journey here, but please be safe out there.
So I decided that it was time to dissolve my lip filler so I could get some new stuff maybe later, or just be a little bit more natural, because I've been getting it since 2014. Just got that done today. And swelling is normal. Maybe a little bit of allergic reaction to the enzymes. But, this is not a filter.
Hi, my name is Brooke, and I used to be addicted to Botox and filler. This is part 2, tear trough filler. So this was the original procedure. First thing I'd ever had done. This was also back in 2018 when really these things weren't talked about often. There wasn't a lot of research. I literally had to go to Google Images to find before and afters of people who had had this treatment done before. Now there are tons of med spas around, but at the time there was maybe 2 in my city, and both of them were pretty decent and had great reviews. So this is me the morning after tear trough filler. Oh my god, oh my god. This honestly could have ended up terribly wrong because she did not use the cannula technique. She went in with a needle and dropped tiny bits of filler all around my under eyes.
This is a case to show why we shouldn't always jump straight into dissolving when bruising and swelling is present.
This video is of the client sending me a cap pre-fill test, and then she came straight back to the salon for me to assess the situation further. Now this client is quite pale skinned anyway and does have pale lips and has previously had a chemical peel, hence the redness of her face. I kept in contact with this client hourly, and as you can see over the next 4 days, the bruising and the swelling settled dramatically. As you can see, this was not a vascular occlusion, and dissolving also comes with its own risks and complications, and when these are settled, they look absolutely stunning.
Okay, so if you know me in real life, you know that my brother died last week, and I've been having a really hard time with it, so I thought I would do something for myself to try to cheer myself up. I've been wanting to get chin filler for a really long time, and I got it on Wednesday. And it's horrible. So now I'm sad and ugly. Like, you can scroll back to my other videos. I was a really cute girl before I got this done.
Complications in aesthetics. As you can see here, this client had a vascular occlusion of the chin where the submental artery was blocked. These white patches here indicate that the blood flow is incorrect in that area. The client had been to another practitioner who put 2 ml of filler in her chin area, which I personally think is too much, and unfortunately ended up with a complication like this. The client reached out for my advice as she wasn't happy with the other advice she was given. I always recommend, if you're not happy with the advice that your practitioners give you, ask somebody else. It's better to be safe than sorry. We got the client in. We explained what was going to happen, because as you can see, there was a blockage. She couldn't talk properly. She was in severe pain. The area was cold to touch because the blood flow was incorrect in that area. And immediately we started to dissolve. As we was dissolving, the colour returned back up here, and then it returned slowly under here, in the middle. This white patch here, however, took a while to dissolve and for the colour to spring back. When checking a capillary refill, you hold on for 8 to 10 seconds. You see how the colour returns. Perfect. So when my client left on the first session, the capillary refill was perfect. We did inform her that it could take a couple of sessions to resolve it. The next day, the client reached out and informed us of paleness of the chin again. We got her back in for a second session of dissolving. So first session, 3 vials of hyaluronidase. Second session, 2 vials of hyaluronidase. Always check your practitioner has this in stock, and not just 1 vial or 2 vials. You need plenty. Always check that your practitioner can dissolve and can spot complications. If they don't, walk out and choose another practitioner. It is dangerous. So as you can see, we did have a serious complication, but it was resolved in 2 sittings. Now the client's chin is perfectly fine. Obviously bruising was expected after, as she'd had a lot of trauma in this area, and she needs to leave it plenty of time to heal. But yeah, aesthetics is dangerous. Make sure you choose your practitioner wisely.
After everything that we have discussed in today's video, what do you think is the biggest lesson when it comes to plastic surgery gone wrong? Should people be more cautious, going under the knife, or is it just worth the risk that we just have to take? And of course, do you think that social media makes plastic surgery seem too easy and glamorous, when in reality there are so many risks that comes with it? And should celebrities and influencers be more honest about work that they get done instead of pretending that it is all natural? Let's have the conversation real, raw, honest conversation, of course, because at the end of the day, you know, plastic surgery can definitely be life-changing, but it's not always for the better. Sometimes it does lead to permanent regret. So if you're ever thinking about getting into it, just make sure you do your research, you choose a skilled and licensed doctor, and you just know when to stop. There is a limit, guys. As per usual, guys, thank you so much for joining me in today's discussion, and let me know what is the worst botched plastic surgery you've ever seen or ever come across, whether it's in real life or on social media. As I tell you, sound off in the comments below. Now, this is where we are going to wrap up today's video. If you have enjoyed, you haven't yet liked, you haven't yet subscribed, but you're still there, so look on me. Now is the time to go ahead and do so. And if you want to continue to watch more relatable, entertaining videos like these, you can go ahead and click that up next video with the right saw on your screen and enjoy the day away. As per usual, guys, thank you again so much for watching until the end. My name is Jody, and I aspire to inspire. Until next time, guys, walk good.